All right, let's dive in. Today, we're looking into this Stargate project,
Ah,
this major AI initiative that's been kind of blowing up the news lately.
it's been hard to miss.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like it's everywhere. So we've got the transcript from the press conference, the one where they first announced this whole thing.
Yeah,
And honestly,
that's quite the read.
I know, right? You don't usually see this kind of excitement, I guess you could say, in
Yeah,
a government document.
no kidding. It's like they're unveiling the next, I don't know, iPhone or something. There's this real buzz, you know?
It's infectious almost.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to break it all down. What is this Stargate thing? Who's pulling the strings?
Yeah, who are the players?
And what could it actually mean for, for the average person out there in this whole, what do they call it, brave new world of AI?
Right. Well, even just grasping the scale of this thing is a challenge in itself.
Yeah, yeah. We're talking about
$500 billion
$500 billion.
investment, the potential for what? Over 100,000 new jobs?
They keep throwing around the phrase warp speed.
Right. Like yesterday, this wasn't even a thing, and now it's all systems go.
It's mind-boggling, the speed. And they're not wasting any time either. I mean, they're already building those huge data centers in Texas, right?
Yeah, 500,000 square feet, each one.
It's hard to even picture something that big.
But they've already got 10 under construction.
10. And they're talking about doubling that, and then who knows how many more across the country.
Yeah, they're just getting started.
It makes you realize this isn't just some small-scale experiment.
This is a whole different level.
Yeah, yeah. These data centers, it's like they're building, I don't know, the brains behind AI.
Exactly. Think of them as giant processing centers. That's where AI learns, evolves, all based on massive amounts of data that get crunched in these facilities.
So basically, Stargate is, what, creating this network of, like, AI brains all over America.
That's a good way to put it. It's laying the groundwork for a whole new era of AI, and they're not being shy about it.
Yeah, there was definitely this, almost this America First vibe in the whole announcement, like a real focus on winning this so-called AI race.
Yeah, the AI race. What does that even mean? You know?
What are we actually racing towards?
It's about who's at the forefront of AI development globally.
Yeah.
It's about economic power, national security, even cultural influence. And with China making major moves in AI,
Makes sense.
Stargate is a very clear message that the U.S. wants to stay ahead of the game.
It's like some high-stakes chess match.
Yeah. But with technology in the future at stake.
Right. Now, let's talk about who's actually involved in this. It's a
Yeah.
pretty impressive lineup.
Oh, yeah.
You've got Oracle handling the infrastructure, the backbone of the whole thing.
Which makes sense. They've always been big on data management.
Yeah, but the scale of this, it's something else. Larry Ellison, the CEO, he's practically giddy about it in the transcript.
He's definitely all in.
Big time.
Yeah.
And then you've got SoftBank,
Oh, yeah, Masayoshi Son. Now, that's a guy who knows how to make a splash.
right? Known for taking these huge bets on technology. And the amount they're putting into Stargate,
It's staggering.
it's like they're saying, yeah, this is the future. We believe in it, all in.
Yeah, it's a huge vote of confidence.
Totally. And then, of course, you've got OpenAI
Mm.
with Sam Altman at the helm.
The face of AI for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, their expertise, their research, it definitely lends credibility to the whole project, right?
Absolutely. You can't talk about AI without mentioning OpenAI these days. It's like they're the rock stars of the field, you know?
So you've got these big players all betting big on Stargate. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around. But honestly, when I was going through Ellison's comments, the thing that really grabbed my attention
What's
was his focus on healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, imagine going to the doctor
Mhm.
and AI is analyzing your scans, this incredible accuracy, catching diseases before you even have symptoms.
Yeah, early diagnosis.
That's powerful stuff.
Totally. And he even mentions personalized cancer vaccines tailored to your unique DNA.
It's like something straight out of, I don't know, Star Trek.
Right. But this is what they're aiming for. It's this glimpse into a future where AI could revolutionize healthcare.
And it ties into this bigger theme, that runs through the whole announcement. This idea that AI can solve some of our biggest problems.
Yeah, especially making healthcare accessible and affordable for everyone, even in remote areas.
It's kind of this hopeful vision, right?
Yeah.
Almost like a golden age driven by AI.
Yeah, it's definitely painted in very optimistic colors. But, there's always another side to the coin.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder.
What could go wrong?
Exactly. I'm excited about the possibilities, but there's this part of me that's also, I don't know, a little wary. Like, are we unleashing something we don't fully understand?
It's a valid concern. And then there's that whole AGI thing they mention. Artificial general intelligence. Now, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right. That's where it starts to feel like we're stepping into the realm of science fiction.
It is, yeah. Like for folks who might not be totally up on all the lingo, AGI, it's basically saying AI could get to a point where it's as smart as humans, across the board.
Yeah.
Not just good at one thing, like beating you at chess,
Right,
but
right.
like actually able to solve problems, learn new things.
Like a thinking machine.
Yeah, exactly. Bit spooky when you really think about it. And the transcript, they don't shy away from that at all. I mean, the president straight up says Stargate could be the road to AGI.
Yeah, I remember that line. Trillions in investment, reshaping the global economy, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, it's a bold statement for sure. And it really underscores one of the big things about Stargate.
What's that?
This shift toward a centralized way of doing AI. Instead of having all these different companies, labs working on their own,
All right.
you've got this massive coordinated effort led by the government and these tech giants.
So it's like they're creating, what, an AI powerhouse.
Pretty much. And that's where things get interesting, right? Well, on the one hand, you could say it's awesome, this huge push for innovation, resources being pooled.
Right.
But on the other hand, you got to wonder, what about the little guys? The startups, the independent researchers, do they get squeezed out?
That's a good point. Is this stifle creativity?
Exactly. A healthy ecosystem needs variety, different approaches. If Stargate becomes too dominant, it could end up hindering progress in the long run.
Makes sense. And then there's the whole question of, like, control, right?
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about some seriously powerful tech here.
Yeah, who gets to decide how it's used, who benefits, who gets left behind?
Big questions, the kind we can't afford to ignore.
Not at all. It's like we're talking about reshaping society here.
Right. And for that to work, it's got to be a conversation we all have, openly, transparently.
Yeah, not just decided behind closed doors by a handful of...
Exactly. Public dialogue, figuring out the values, the principles that'll guide all this, safeguards to prevent...
the bad stuff.
Right, the misuse.
Yeah.
Because let's be real, for all the talk about AI solving problems...
Yeah, what about the potential downsides? AI being used for, I don't know, weapons development.
Oh, yeah, or automating millions of jobs.
Exactly, leaving people unemployed, that kind of thing.
These are valid concerns. The more powerful AI gets, the more careful we need to be. Guidelines, regulations, thinking through the ethics.
Like especially in sensitive areas, right?
Yeah.
Healthcare, finance, law enforcement.
Absolutely. We got to be proactive, tackle these challenges head on.
It's like we're at this fork in the road.
I like that analogy.
One path leads to this amazing future, AI making life better in all sorts of ways.
Right, the utopia.
But the other path, well, it could get pretty dark pretty fast.
And that's why unpacking all of this is so important. Looking at the good and the bad, figuring out how to navigate it.
Exactly. So for our listeners who've been following along,
Yeah.
if we had to boil it down, what are the big takeaways about Stargate? What do they really need to grasp?
Well, first off, it's a major shift in the landscape of AI.
Yeah.
More centralized, government-driven, all that comes with it.
Yeah. It's about more than just the technology itself.
Way more. Power, influence, who gets to shape the future.
Right, right. And then there's the economic side.
Huge implications.
Yeah.
Potential for jobs, growth, progress in fields like healthcare. It's all there.
But also the potential for job losses, inequality getting worse.
That's the double-edged sword, yeah.
Yeah.
We need to manage that transition carefully, make sure everyone benefits, not just a select few.
Couldn't agree more. And then I guess the biggest question of all,
What's that?
what does AI mean for us as humans? What are our values? How do those guide the development, the use of this technology?
Deep stuff, right?
No easy answers.
Yeah.
But we need to be having this conversation as AI keeps getting more advanced.
For sure. And it's not just a conversation for the experts, the policymakers.
It's for everyone.
Exactly. We all have a stake in this, a role to play.
Feels like we're living in a sci-fi movie sometimes.
Yeah, it's getting hard to tell the difference.
Right. Like we're on the verge of something huge, but is it going to be good, bad? Who knows?
That's where the real challenge comes in, I think.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just sit back and watch this unfold,
We got to be active participants.
Exactly. Asking the tough questions, pushing back against the hype, holding people accountable.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like even this whole AI race thing, does that even make sense?
I've been wondering that myself. It's so simplistic, almost like...
It's like a distraction.
Yeah, exactly. Like it implies there's a finish line, a winner, a loser.
Right, like it's a zero-sum game.
But this is a global challenge, It's bigger than just one country coming out on top.
We need to be working together on this, not competing against each other.
Absolutely. AI has the potential to impact everyone, everywhere. We can't lose sight of that.
And that brings us back to our listener, the person who's been with us on this whole deep dive.
Yeah,
What can they actually do? All of this can feel so big, so overwhelming, like how can one person make a difference?
I hear you. But honestly, even small things add up. Well, first off, stay informed. Read, listen, learn, have those conversations online with your friends, your family.
The more people understand this stuff, the better, right?
Exactly. And then there's the whole ethical side of it. We can't just leave that to, I don't know.
The tech companies, the politicians,
Yeah, we all need to be thinking about this, talking about it, even simple things, being mindful of the data you share online.
supporting companies that do things the right way.
Right. Voting for policies that make sense. Every voice matters.
So to our listener, I'd say don't be afraid to really dig into these topics
Yeah, get curious. Learn about AI, the good, the bad.
because the future isn't set in stone.
It's being shaped right now by the choices we make, the conversations we have.
Every action, big or
Yeah.
small, it all contributes.
And who knows, maybe our listener out there,
Yeah.
they'll be the one to come up with the next breakthrough idea, the ethical framework, the solution that helps us all navigate this.
What a thought. Well, on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive into Stargate and the future of AI.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. Hopefully it's given everyone some food for thought, maybe even a little bit of healthy concern.
Until next time, stay curious and stay engaged.